All right. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we are. It is Thursday, May the 28th, episode 13 of Picked Off. I'm Josh Griffin. With me, as always, Mr. Alex Carter. And special guest today, the router, maybe. I'm not sure what happened.
I didn't even see it pop up that we were live.
Well, I've got live notifications. I mean, it's there. It just I don't know if we overloaded the router or what, but OBS shut down the stream for a brief second and then brought it back up. So we're back. Luke, are you still with us?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. There
All
we
right.
go. Hashtag professional.
See, lucky number 13.
It's episode 13. You got to expect some kind of garbage to happen. All right, so if you didn't hear the first introduction, I am Josh Griffin. Joining me as always, Mr. Alex Carter, and special guest today, Luke Thomas. Guys, how you doing this morning?
Happy
I'm doing
to be
great,
here.
Josh.
Good to have you with us. Luke's going to give us a little bit of insight as to what's going on the Tennessee recruiting trail and current events. Just for everybody's information, the Wheel of Misfortune is open for the entire show today. So if you want to see Carter and I embarrass ourselves, here's the wheel. And I'll give you a little idea of what's on the wheel today. Sing My Fight Song, Spinner's Choice, Milk Shower. We're going to dump a cup of milk over our heads. We're going to change our Facebook profile to whatever the spinner chooses. That's an option on there. It has to be within community standards. No nudity, no profanity, nothing illegal, racist that will get us fired, anything like that.
Yeah.
But if you want us to change it to your team's logo, whatever, I mean, you guys can get creative with it. We're going to do, let's see, shot of hot sauce, egg on the face, a fan favorite, the truffle shuffle, and then I think we had on there, what was the other one, Carter? I can't see it without spinning the wheel.
What was it? Fight song, hot sauce milk.
We'll spin the wheel and see what happens. Egg
All
on
right.
facing my fight song. Oh, do Thursdays. I guess it's do next Thursday's show in a dress.
Nice. First thing in the comments, what's up Facebook, what's up YouTube's by NASCAR Vol. Aaron Ross says, what's up, y'all? And was that Mark Martell? Good day, everyone.
There we go.
Good day, mate.
All right. Let's see. Are we live
Tomorrow.
Are we live on Facebook?
I haven't looked.
I think we are. Yeah, we're good. No, I think it kicked us off of the Facebook stream. Maybe that's what happened.
No.
Maybe that's why OBS glitched.
Crunkman says, get crunk.
Not really sure how to get that up and going. What we'll do, if that's the case, if we're not streaming live on Facebook. Oh, here we are. Yep, we're live. Okay. There we go. Paul Morris, Charlie Elrod, Duke Nukem are in there. Duke Nukem says it didn't happen. LOL, when you mentioned Luke, it went haywire. There you go. All right. Also, as always, don't forget, top comment of the show is going to get that coveted Golden Keyboard Award. So be in the comments, be lively, take shots at each other, but keep them friendly. Civil, I guess. Maybe not friendly, but keep them civil.
Yeah. Crunkman says, get crunk. Shout out to Crunkman. Shout out to the South Lamar Stallions.
Yeah, man. All right. Let's see. What's going on in the YouTubes?
That's what I was reading.
Yep. All right. You about ready to kick this puppy off?
Let's do it.
So the Wheel of Misfortune is open for the entire show. Don't forget about the top comment. Then Luke's going to give us some updated information on the Tennessee recruiting trail. And I think Coach Doug's pulled off a couple more wins. He's going to update us on that. We got our moment in Vol history. Another Miami game. It's a good one, though. You're going to want to stick around for that. Carter's going to grind his gears about people bashing on a specific Tennessee player. We're going to do our top 5 NBA players of all time. We got our whack-ass tradition, General Neyland 7 memes, dumpster fire program of the day. And then we'll close it out with our usual salute to Layla Kiffin.
Oh, Layla.
Oh, Layla.
Layla.
All right, we'll kick it off with Luke. Luke, tell the guys what's going on with Tennessee recruiting, current events, sporting news. Fill us in, man.
Yeah. Now, assuming everything is going to start on time, we're actually now 100 days out until it's football time in Tennessee. I didn't realize it was that close.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Vols, they're still kicking butt on the recruiting trail. No surprise there. They have been on an absolute scorching hot trend right now. They're probably the hottest team in America. But Julian Nixon is where I want to start today. And this is going to be the topic of most sports talk radio throughout Knoxville, throughout the state right now in terms of recruiting, because there's a lot of confusion. 4-star Tennessee wide receiver commit, obviously, out of Roswell, Georgia. He attends Centennial High. Now, other schools that he was considering were Arkansas, Auburn, Florida, Cincinnati, and a few others. Georgia has offered him, but I do not think they're very much of a factor for the time being. Now, because of a lot of recent events, a lot of folks are speculating or questioning what's going on there with UT, and I can tell you that things are getting pretty interesting there. He tweeted out yesterday, and this is a direct quote, "I'm just putting this out there. Just because we're committed doesn't mean stop recruiting us. We want to have a relationship that we can trust, but there seems to be a misunderstanding. Get it together." Now, he's clearly talking about Tennessee's staff not building a proper relationship after his commitment. And just so there's no confusion before we go forward with this, Nixon would later tweet out, quote, "Everything is fine," followed by another tweet that read, "I'm committed and I'm not going anywhere." Now, obviously, that presents the possibility that the reason Tennessee is not contacting him as much as he'd like is because they're not exactly making him a priority. And I've heard a lot of people that I think are in the know repeating that. Now, I myself can't say for sure. It's no secret that the only volunteer roadshow staff member with sources is Mr. Griffin. but I do think it's a possibility.
Yeah, recruiting's always tricky. I mean, you especially when you got this many kids flooding into the program with commits at this stage in the recruiting process at this time of the year. People are going to be pushed to the back burner, and it may not be intentional. It just could be, that the recruiting staff's got their focus on somebody else. And for the most part, a lot of these guys are young, and with youth comes impatience. And every kid wants to feel special as I'm sure the recruiting pitch that they got in their mom's living room led them to believe that they were. And once they've got that commit, Tennessee's job is to go get more players, more quality players to bring to the roster. So if I were giving any advice to the young man, I would say, sit back and watch what happens. If you're not a priority for Tennessee, it'll become pretty obvious. But for right now, those guys they've got to get a full roster. They've got to get a roster full of kids, full of quality kids that can go win a national championship, because I think that's Jeremy Pruitt's only goal here.
Yeah, and Luke, I got a question.
Yeah.
Don't we have at this point? Oh, first of all, Gate City. Shout out to Gate City in the comments. Happy birthday to Coach Pruitt. I did not realize it was Coach Pruitt's birthday today. Happy birthday to Coach.
Happy birthday, Coach Pruitt. I know he's watching. He gets all of his recruiting information right here on Picked Off. And he likes to check in with us to make sure that Tennessee's still at the top of the college football pop culture scene.
But my question to Luke is, don't we have to be pretty picky here at this point with all the scholarships or all the commits we've gotten so far? How does that work?
Well, technically, and this is by 100%, just analytically here, numbers only, not taking in anything else, you have one scholarship left that's available. Now, I'm just going to be real with you guys. That is not actually going to come to fruition. You have multiple spots available. I think you're going to see a lot of lower level players, and I hate when this happens, but the way Tennessee is recruiting right now and the people I've talked to seem to think that you're going to see a lot of the lower caliber players on Tennessee's commit list start to be told to look elsewhere because those spots are going to go to more highly caliber players. And I hate when that happens, but at this point, I think it's inevitable for Tennessee, at least, because they've got so many highly ranked players. I know for a lot of people, it's an issue with morality because, you promise someone a spot and then you say, okay, you need to look elsewhere. That's terrible. But if coaches didn't do that, then they wouldn't be at their destination very long.
It's the way that recruiting is done today. You fill the pot, and all of the top programs are doing it. You fill the pot with 3 stars and the occasional 4-star, and then you start looking for ways to replace their scholarship with 4-star, 5-star. Those borderline 5-star players, 5-star players, the top echelon 4-star guys, and then you just start individually replacing them. If you get hot on a 5-star kid, and he's an inside linebacker, and you've got 3-star inside linebackers in your recruiting class, you start evaluating their tape and seeing which one the 5-star kid's going to replace. So it's the way that it's done. It hasn't been done that way at Tennessee probably since Fulmer, but it seemed to me like the previous staffs, the Butch Jones staff, the Derek Dooley staff, they'd get a kid and they would just stay committed to that kid, and wasn't a lot of attrition when it came to recruiting higher ranked or better athletes, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah, and Tennessee right now, they have 24 commits. If you're using 24/7, then two of those would have been 5-stars, but they just updated their rankings. And they've got a clear-cut bias against Tennessee. They cut those rankings in half. They've got 1 5-star, 9 4-stars, I believe, and a multitude of 3-stars. I think it's 14 or 15. But just keeping it real with you guys, they're not going to finish with that many. They're not going to finish with more 4 and 5 stars. But they're not going to finish with more 3 stars than 4 and 5 stars when you add them together. I don't think. I think you're going to see a lot of those 3 stars either A, move up to 4 stars, or B, be told to look elsewhere. And the staff doesn't look at recruiting rankings. This is just me looking at this as a fan's point of view. It's tough for me seeing how a lot of these players will end up signing with Tennessee. A good number of them will that are 3 stars. And a lot of them are underrated, but I'm having to squint to see a way in which a lot of these players sign with Tennessee. So, I mean, keep a lookout for that. There's going to be a lot of spots open up. Tennessee's ranked number 2 in 24/7's composite right now, composite. But look at the teams that are near them. Ohio State has 18. Clemson has 13. North Carolina has 15, and they're number 4. Michigan has 16. Tennessee has 24. If they want to finish with the top 5 class, then they have work to do. But again, they don't look at the recruiting rankings. This is just a good way as a fan to get a snapshot of where things are.
NASCAR on YouTube says Jeremy Banks may not come back on scholarship because of this. I actually talked to Jeremy Banks via text message the other day, and he's still gunning, trying to get back into the university. I told him keep working. Tennessee needs him. We need that kind of fight in our players, and Jeremy Banks is an absolute dog. So he's still looking to get back in too. So I mean, you think of this 2021 recruiting class, you bring back Jeremy Banks, Harrison Bailey and all those guys are a little more seasoned, and some of the upperclassmen are filling in some of the gaps. I mean, things are looking good for Tennessee in terms of the roster. It's shaping up to be, 2022, 2023 could be one of the best rosters that Tennessee's ever had.
I would have suspected, if you would have asked me a while ago, like dating back to January, I would have suspected that Jeremy Banks would have been back on the roster by now. Because back then I was convinced there was no way that Jeremy Pruitt would not give him his roster spot back. But, as we loom closer now, 100 days out from the season, I do think that there's a possibility that presents itself that Jeremy Banks might not be welcomed back because of what happened. Now, I still think there's a chance he could be. But at this point, I think the COVID thing just totally distracted Tennessee. I think they plan to have him back by now. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's a tough situation all the way around, especially when the national media picks it up. You don't want to get bad publicity, but you want to look out for Jeremy Banks as well. We'll see what they do. I'm very interested in what they do.
What's going on?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say Flint Williams over on Facebook says happy birthday to Coach Pruitt. Scott Cawhorn's in there, says, what's up, guys? What's up, Scott? Thanks for dropping in. Duke Nukem, you got to put Banks on a 1-strike clause. Mess up one single time and you're gone. I completely agree with that assessment. And then Crunkman over on YouTube, this may sound weird coming from an Alabama fan, but I want Tennessee to be good. A Tennessee powerhouse is good for the SEC. And I agree, not just because I'm a Tennessee fan, but there has got to be that traditional storied program on the other side of the conference. You've got Alabama and LSU in the West, Georgia, and it looks like Florida may be making a little bit quicker comeback than Tennessee. Obviously, with the last 2 seasons, Florida has significantly outperformed Tennessee, but Florida doesn't feel as solid to me as what Pruitt and the guys are doing at Tennessee. I guess their recruiting's very it's a very Frankenstein type method. They're piecing together classes that aren't ranked very high. I guess there's not really a way to describe it. You just get that feeling when a team's doing something solid, when a roster's solid, when a recruiting class is solid. You get that feeling like, man, there's just not a lot of gaps in this. With Florida's recruiting class, I'm seeing a lot of gaps and holes, and I think Mullen's just gotten by on his ability to coach for so long that he kind of feels like, and then there's been reports from recruits saying that they feel like Mullen doesn't care about the kid's abilities. He thinks he can coach anybody up, so he's willing to get anybody with any kind of athletic ability into the university over there in Gainesville.
Can't win the conference. Can't win the West.
So,
Yeah,
but that's just all of that to say,
Or East.
it will be good when Tennessee and Georgia and Florida are fighting it out in the East, and you've got Alabama, LSU, and I guess you could say Auburn. Auburn contends over there in the West. Kind of from year to year it differs, but Auburn maybe that third.
I think
team over
LSU's
there.
a one and done thing, though, man. I don't think they're the 2010 Auburn Tigers. The next year, they're not going to have the same success. I don't think.
do you guys mind if I interject real quick and say something about Florida?
No, go ahead.
Here's the thing about Florida. Their 2021 recruiting class right now, a good analogy to that would be a Jenga set with 6 pieces at the bottom missing. It's tumbling back and forth. Dan Mullen cannot recruit. I'm telling you that right now. Eventually, whenever Dan Mullen leaves Florida, it will be because of recruiting. He has to get better on the recruiting trail. He's losing players to Tennessee, which you should not be doing right now if you're Florida. I mean, Florida went 10-3, beat Virginia in a bowl game. There's no reason that they should be losing recruits to Tennessee. And being in one of the most talent-rich areas instead of Florida, the fact that you're struggling speaks even more volumes. This is not Mississippi State. You cannot recruit in 3 stars and expect to compete with Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky. You can't do that. You have to improve your recruiting if you're Dan Mullen. And right now, they're not doing that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it just feels shaky, and that's the Jenga analogy is a good analogy. It just feels shaky to me. He'll win some ball games. There's no doubt. He's an excellent game planner. He's a strategist. He knows what he's doing on the offensive side of the ball. He's got Grantham over there and knows what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball, and they're coaching their ways to win, which is in terms of recruiting is good for Tennessee because Tennessee can go and pick up the guys and bring them to Knoxville that Mullen's passing up. But you got to think if Mullen gets a good recruiting class, it's gonna be scary.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you right now, Florida fans, I think the vast majority of them are not worried right now. And I mean, why should they be? I mean, let's be real, guys. It's May. And the recruiting class is not until January. So,
well, just like a few years ago, we were ranked number 1 in July.
But I'll tell you this: if they do not get Leonard Taylor, there is a problem in Gainesville. That's a 5-star tackle down there in Miami. Stands at 6'4", weighs in at 255 pounds. Florida is the team to beat with him. That's a well-known fact. But he released his top 5, and the top 5, Florida is going to be competing with some big programs. They're competing with Alabama. They're competing with LSU. They're competing with Miami. They're competing with Tennessee.
Florida State.
No, those are the top 5. It's Florida, LSU, Alabama, Miami, UT. Florida State couldn't even get in the top 5. But if they somehow lose him to whether it's to Miami, whether it's to Tennessee, there's going to be some very upset Florida fans in Gainesville. I mean, we'll see what happens, but right now, if they find a way to lose him, if I was a Florida fan, I would be getting worried. Now, as this relates to Tennessee, I mentioned that they were in his top 5. UT is considered a top contender, but it's going to be tough for them to overcome Miami, where he lives. It's going to be tough for them to overtake Florida, his home state. We'll see what happens. But the fact that Tennessee is even in a 5-star tackle out of Florida who's being recruited heavily by Florida, the fact that Tennessee is even in the conversation, it speaks dividends for what Jeremy Pruitt is building. It's honestly incredible. He's doing one heck of a job right now. I don't think there's anyone hotter than him right now in the recruiting industry. And the fact that we're even having this conversation about Tennessee being in the top 5, Jeremy Pruitt is building something special in terms of recruiting. We'll see how he can develop it. But right now, he's building something really special, I think.
And see, I think that's why Pruitt, because he when he got hired and everything, and they worked out the financial details, he wanted to make sure that he had enough money to get the best staff he could get. Because you look at our recruiter, look at Brian Niedermeyer. The man is a recruiting genius.
Mm-hmm. And here's the deal, Carter. On Tennessee's staff right now, it's not just one good recruiter. You've got a team full. You've got a staff full. You have Brian Niedermeyer, who's the recruiter of the year at Tennessee. You have T. Martin, recruiter of the year at USC. You have Joe Osvet, long time. Or he's learning, but he's apparently very, very good. He's doing it's off to a really good start. You have Derek Ansley, another very good young coach on the recruiting trail. And guess who it's all led by? Jeremy Pruitt, who was the recruiter of the year. Yeah, it's very special. It's not, and when you look at the staff, there's no surprise how good Tennessee's doing. I mean, they've got a staff full of great recruiters. Of course, they're going to be doing good. But for Tennessee fans, they've heard this so long, and it never come to fruition. I think it's finally starting to come to fruition. We'll see what happens on National Signing Day and early signing day. But I really believe Tennessee is building something special with this recruiting class. If they're able to add a few more additions, weed out some of those 3 stars, as I was saying, or maybe they move up to 4 stars, I believe, and I've said this before, I believe they will finish with a top 5 class. But we'll see what happens. I believe that they're building something special.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, now, I just wanted to mention something else real quick, and this is Peyton Page. This, if you're a Tennessee fan, is where you're looking right now. He's a big old tackle out of Dudley High in Greensboro. He stands at 6'4" and weighs 360 pounds. Very, very big guy. He's listed as a 4-star, but do not be fooled. He's got easily guys the talent to be a first-round draft pick. And now the Vols are competing with some big names here that might be tough to overcome. You've got Alabama, you've got Clemson and Auburn all trying to steal him out of the Tar Heel State, but Mac Brown at UNC, he's pushing hard too. So, I mean, you've got in-state, you've got out-of-state. Now, Jimmy Brumbaugh, who is our new defensive line coach, is his lead recruiter. But, I would be stunned if they weren't utilizing Jay Graham, considering his connections in the area as well. It looked like Tennessee was out of this race for a while, but I think this quarantine period has really given them a chance to reassert themselves into the thick of things. In fact, I think it would be tough for any team to overcome Tennessee if he was picking today. But of course, I mean, recruiting is a game that can change with the snap of a finger. So we'll see what happens, and we'll follow this very closely on the website. But that right there is another big name you need to watch if you're a Tennessee fan looking for big names. I'd say he's the name right now if you're looking for big names.
NASCAR Vol says the way that Mullen's doing it is not sustainable, and I kind of agree with that. My position with the Dan Mullen hire over at Florida has always been you're going to get the same thing you got at Mississippi State. You got a great coach who doesn't value recruiting as high as pretty much everybody else in the SEC, and it's going to show. And Mullen went in kind of 4-year cycles over there. He'd have one team that was really bad. The next year they'd get a little better. The next year they'd get a little better. By that 4th year, they'd be, somewhere ranked in the top 15. And then he did achieve a number 1 ranking for a couple of weeks over at Mississippi State during the Dak Prescott era. But I think that's pretty much the gist of what you're going to get with Florida and Dan Mullen. And you'll I just don't. I have to agree. It's not sustainable. It's not a sustainable model. I don't think he's gonna have a long career there.
I mean, we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, we can't see in the future. We don't know how long it's going to last. But what I'm saying is, I do think it's right now their recruiting it's fair to compare it to a Jenga set, and literally the one Jenga set. If you pull out Leonard Taylor, you're going to have some problems. Because it's already wobbling now. I'm not saying that Dan Mullen is going to be a complete flop at Florida. I think it's going to be a Mark Richt situation. I don't think he'll be there that long, but I mean, I think it's going to be a Mark Richt situation where you're having to choose between mediocrity, which, let's face it, 9-10 wins is mediocrity at a program like Florida, which is a historically great program with Steve Spurrier. But I think it's going to be this, at some point, Florida is going to have to sit down and ask themselves some serious conversations. Not this year, probably not next year, not even the year after that. But down the road, they're going to have to ask, okay, is Dan Mullen the guy that can get us to the national title? Or is Dan Mullen the guy that can get us an SEC championship? And he's not, I don't think. And I agree with Josh 100%. He will get you to 10-9 wins, but he will not get you above that, in my view. We'll see what happens there, but Florida, here in a couple years down the road, they're going to have some serious questions to ask themselves if they're not able to get this recruiting turned around.
That's that's if Mullen makes it that long, you know.
And being around the Florida program, I can tell you that the excitement is high.
Mm-hmm.
They're all right now behind Mullen. It's going to take something drastic for them to turn away the fan. It's going to be okay. They have to finish, I would say, 7-5, something like that. Now they'd be frustrated 8-4, but keep in mind that Florida fans are impatient. So one slip up could really be the difference between Dan Mullen being there and Dan Mullen not being there. Remember what happened with McElwain? He won 2 SEC East titles, but he slipped up the third year and they fired him. We'll see what happens.
Florida does not like to lose. They got Steve Spurrier spoiled Florida fans. They don't like losing to Georgia, period, anymore. They'll take it, but they're not going to take it forever.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on the Coach Doug's front there? Luke, Carter, you guys keep up with this a lot more than I do. I've been following it now that the attention's turned on Tennessee, but I know that he's picked up a couple more wins, and I think we've got a clip here from Peyton's commentary leading up to the Georgia game. But tell us what's going on with Coach Doug's.
Yeah, I love Coach Doug's, man. I've got a T-shirt coming in the mail with Doug's on it. Everyone loves Doug's. Josh loves Doug's. Carter loves Doug's. Everyone loves Doug's, right? Now, he comes from Texas Tech as head coach prior to being Toledo's offensive coordinator. Now, yesterday he defeated Auburn soundly. He earned their third SEC win as they surged into a first-place lead in the SEC East. Now beating Florida, Georgia, Auburn, and that's not even counting UCLA. They're on a roll, currently a top 10 team. Not sure anybody can stop them, but, I mean, we'll see. But let me just say this. Doug's I'm going to break script here for a second because this is, real, not the game. But Doug's is actually really beneficial to having for Tennessee. And I don't mean the video game. I'm meaning really, like in real life. That's helpful. Because why? Believe it or not, I know a lot of older people, maybe like Josh, don't understand this. But that really helps you on the recruiting trail. It really, really does. Stuff like that.
No, I mean, I understand the more that Tennessee gets hashtagged on Twitter, the more the recruits look at the program. I mean, there's no denying that. And I said it whenever we announced on the show that Doug's had gone to Tennessee. I said that's not going to do anything but help recruiting. So
now, Josh, a hashtag is a number, son. Just so you know.
Let's hear what Peyton had to say leading up to the Georgia game. Number 21 Georgia at number 24 Tennessee.
They wanted to know if I'd want to wear black and red like Tiger. I'm like, I'm not wearing black and red. That's Georgia Bulldog colors. I mean, I just can't do that. I mean, if you want me to get sick on the first hole, I'll do it. But, I'm not going to let Kirby Smart get a picture of me in black and red for their social media account. So
let me step on that.
Let me put in Michigan.
They haven't been good since you left. Can you help recruit them a little bit? Recruit some quarterbacks or something?
Barkley and Thomas are in trouble.
Let's see what we got. Turn me up. We putting it down. Starting the war. We bringing this out. With so many strong. As many you're proud. You coming along. Then having the crowd.
Sacked again. Inside the 20. Stays on his feet. Will not be denied. It's another Tennessee sack. There was a strike. Another big-time stop for Tennessee's defense. Touchdown, Tennessee. And it's off. The Volunteers covering in the end zone. Touchdown. It's a loss of 6.
I just can't do that.
even old Brady over there admitting that Michigan hadn't been good since Peyton left in '98. That was funny. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff right there. It says, game day, the haters don't want Tennessee to be back, but I got bad news. We're back. Hashtag feels like 98. That's from Big Cat.
Don't call it a comeback.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Coach Doug's doing it. Doing nothing but helping Tennessee.
Exactly.
All right. Anything else going on in the current events, guys?
Nothing really significant. I mean, we're just in this quarantine period right now. Recruiting in Doug's is pretty much the only thing. So, I mean, not right now. But if you don't mind me plugging myself real quick, if you do want to keep up with the latest from current events, you can go to volunteerroadshow.com right now and you can subscribe there for free. You get a free account, and you can get article updates from our writing team who gets that information out there. I'm sure most of you in the comments have heard of this, but it's a very good method. We don't want you to pay. We don't believe that you should have to pay in order to be informed. So that's a good method there. You can go up and sign up for free on volunteerroadshow.com. All you need is a valid email address, and you can create an account, and you can get all the latest from Tennessee sporting news.
There you go.
Plus the guy in charge of the writing team is a pretty cool dude.
Thank you, Carter.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to our moment in Vol history. Now, Luke, this was before you were born, but you're gonna take cracks at my age. I'm gonna take cracks at yours. No, Tennessee and Miami in what year was this, Carter?
It's 2003. We did a home and home with Miami. We played them in 2002 in Knoxville, in 2003 in Miami. And the reason this game was so significant and was such a big deal, Miami hadn't lost a home game in 6 or 7 years. This is when, of course, everybody remembers the U from the 80s, but then the U was again in the early 2000s. They won the national title in 2001. Got beat for the national championship in 2002, and in 2003 they were still. When we played them, they were ranked number 4. We were ranked 13th, and great physical defensive game. And really, our punter kind of helped us win the game in this one. And Josh is going to show a clip, but just a great physical defensive game. Ended up winning 10-6 and snapping Miami's home game winning streak.
All right, so the first clip I have of the game lined up here is I think it's the only touchdown. It was the only touchdown in the game.
Yeah, and it was a
very intense. To the locker room at the intermission. Davis is the running back. 4th and goal. Clausen's got the end around. Got the corner. Touchdown, Derek Tinsley. Miami not looking for the end around inside the 5-yard line. There's also a Kane player injured on the field. Take a look at this play. It was beautifully executed.
Well, Fulmer said we're going to leave it all out on the field, and this was a gamble. I thought he'd take 3 points. Tinsley gets the ball, and there's short reverse from the close wing position that time. And Tennessee gambling with, 20 seconds to go in the half.
There you go. There's the touchdown. And then we've got the punt coming up here. Let's see if I got this right.
4:54.
Yep.
Throws the ball too late, and a huge turnover.
A high boomer back toward Taylor. Drives him inside. He fumbles. Goes to pick it up. Loose ball. Tennessee's got it. Dustin Colquitt drives him down inside the 20-yard line. And now limps back off to the sideline. And Tennessee is going to come into the Orange Bowl and upset the Hurricanes.
A team that could not get turnovers all year, especially fumbles, ends up with 2 key fumbles and 2 interceptions in this football game. The All-American is the guy who drops it. and then can't get back to it quick enough as the ball pops up, and Tennessee is going to be able to take a knee.
There you go. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, something happened after the game.
Yeah, it was Kellen Winslow Jr. got mad. Do you have that clip, Josh?
I've got it.
Yeah, he got mad and kind of went off after the game.
Yep, here we go. Here's what Kellen Winslow had to say.
In this game, Kellen Winslow Jr. will throw a terrific block on Tennessee's Corey Campbell and actually gets a couple of volunteers on this play. He sort of stood over Campbell afterwards, who was injured, and after the game, the post-game media sessions, Winslow was asked if he realized that Campbell had been injured on the play.
Down on the...
Yeah, I don't give a hell. It's about this you, man. I don't give a flying you-know-what about a ball. I don't give a damn. He'd do the same thing to me. It's war. They don't give a freaking you-know-what about you. They will kill you. They're out there to kill you. So I'm going to kill them. You write that in the paper. You write that. You make money off that. No, man, I'm pissed. All y'all take this down. I'm pissed, man. We don't care about nobody except this you. We don't. If I didn't hurt him, he'd hurt me. They're gunning for my legs. I'm going to come right back at him. Soldier.
He's a soldier.
Carter, when was this game played?
2003, sir.
What month?
November, yeah.
Well, I hate to burst Mr. Griffin's bubble, but this was a few months after I was born. So correct.
Yeah.
Which, Kellen Winslow Jr., his dad was a great football player too, but he's in prison right now. So, yeah.
Vodka Drinker says Kellen Winslow Jr. is in prison for public masturbation.
No.
I can neither confirm nor deny that that's accurate. But there you go. From the comments section. It's always gold in there. That's why we award that golden keyboard. All right, let's see. What else have we got going on here? You want to grind your gears, Carter?
I always am.
All right, here we go. Hit them with it.
All right, so for most of y'all that know me, obviously Luke and Josh do, my favorite quarterback as a Tennessee fan, it's easy to say Peyton Manning, but it's not. I love Peyton Manning. I love Steve Martin, but my favorite Tennessee quarterback of all time is Casey the Iceman Clausen. And I'll be damned if everyone out there hating on him. Why you got to be hating on my boy? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what Casey Clausen did, okay? Casey Clausen won games, all right? He went 2-1. He won 2 games in the Swamp, okay? In 2001, 34-32. 2003, 24-10. Went 3-1 against Alabama. Never lost to South Carolina. Won the East his sophomore year. Only lost 2 road games in his entire career at University of Tennessee. The man is a legend. The only thing anyone should ever critique about my boy Casey Clausen is he did have the ugliest spiral I've ever seen. But Casey Clausen's a winner. Now, if you talk about his brother Rick, that's a different story. But quit hating on Casey Clausen.
There you go. Luke, any input on that?
Sure. I was an infant in his senior year. But from what I've been told, he was a great quarterback that just could not get over the hump at times. From what I've been told.
Yeah, it kind of puts you in the mind of Eric Ainge. Could have had a fantastic career if he could have found that last piece to the puzzle that just kind of brings you together and makes you a whole quarterback. A real NFL caliber, NFL starting caliber quarterback. I know Ainge made it to the NFL and kicked around there for a little while, but it kind of that same mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think about just some of the. I mean, yeah, he wasn't a big stat guy, he had a lot of good running backs when he was there. I mean, in 2001, he had Travis Stevens. And then the rest of his career, he had Jabari Davis, Gerald Riggs Jr., Cedric Houston. So, yeah, he had a lot of horses backing him up. But, I mean, still, the man won ball games. And to me, he's always going to be my favorite Tennessee quarterback. And to me, he's always going to be a Tennessee legend.
Carter, I thought your favorite quarterback was Eric Ainge.
I ain't got nothing bad to say about Eric Ainge, but, I mean, you know, if you're going to compare him to Casey Clausen, I would say you're a fool because, I mean, Casey Clausen never had a losing season. So,
yeah.
Vodka Drinker says y'all don't think you kind of underachieved with Clausen and that Clausen was a benefit with some of the most talented Tennessee teams. I mean, there's an element of truth to that.
There is. That's what I was saying about the running backs. You know, we had a stable of running backs. We had some good receivers like Dante Stallworth. We had Jason Witten. So, yeah.
Duke Nukem says, I'm unsubscribing for that comment. Preposterous. And then he says, no way we should have lost the 2001 SEC championship.
Nope, I agree.
Stick around, Duke. It only gets worse from here. All right, moving into the top 5. Guys, don't forget that wheel is open if you want to see us spin the wheel. Just a reminder, it is there. It's not a segment at the end of the show. It's open all show. If you want to see it, $1.99 Super Chat gets you a spin on the wheel. Watch one of us embarrass ourselves. All right, top 5. What are we doing today? Top 5 NBA players of all time.
Yeah, I figure we give a little NBA a little love today.
All right, you want to lead it off?
Absolutely. We'll do 5-1, and of course, Luke, he'll have his own little spin on it. But number 5, I'm going to go with Allen Iverson. That's just a guy right there that could do a lot of amazing things with the ball. He was very skillful, didn't have a lot of height, but it was fun to watch him play. And I really enjoyed him when he was with the 76ers. But so, yeah, my number 5 is Allen Iverson.
All right, Luke, who you got on your number 5?
Yeah, I just my first one, I want to see if y'all can, see where this is going real quick in the comments. But I've got a tie for number 5.
Okay.
And it's peanut butter and jelly. It's Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield.
There you go. My number 5, we'll give the guys in the comments a minute to see where Luke's going with his. My number 5 is going to be Magic Johnson, one of the greats of all time, regardless of his life off the court. He was one of the best players to ever step on the court.
Yep.
What you got for your number 4, Carter?
Number 4 is my cousin, Vince Carter, Air Canada. No, I'm not really related to him, obviously, but no, Vince Carter he's still playing, I think. I think he's with the Hawks, but I mean, he's had a long, long career, but man, he could do some amazing dunks, and he put the Raptors on the map. So that's my number 4.
All right, Luke, your number 4.
All right, this is the second hint. VFL, Josh Richards.
There you go. Josh Richards. My
Richardson.
number Richardson, yeah. Sorry, I as soon as I said it, I was like, that doesn't sound right. All right, number 4 for me, Larry Bird. Oh, who's that's joined the show?
You better be on this list, dog. It's LeBron
Is
James.
that Bron? Oh, Bron. Man, nobody invited you. Get out of here. All right.
I like my hairline.
Number 4 for me, Larry Bird. Man, some of the things. Go back and watch some Larry Bird highlights on YouTube when you get some spare time. Watch the passes and the shots, and that dude was an absolute machine. Nobody worked harder than Larry Bird.
I agree. I'm just not that old.
Off the screen.
He won't leave. All right, number 3 for me. Got to go with Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. Black Mamba, what can you say? A legend. Such a tragic way I hate what happened to him and his daughter, but he'll always be a legend. And he just, for most of my childhood and even in my part of my adulthood, Kobe Bryant was the man. So,
yeah, he's kind of like Jordan 2.0. Well, maybe Jordan, maybe, I don't think anybody will ever touch the level of play that Jordan had, but he was the next generation's Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Carter, or I'm sorry, Luke.
Yeah, number 3 is VFL Allen Houston.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm noticing a theme with Luke's picks. For me, number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Statistically, the best player to ever step on a basketball court.
That's number 3, right?
That's number 3.
All right, so number 2, I got to go with my man, Reggie Miller. The trash talk, man, I liked watching. Like, if you ever watched the 30 for 30, Reggie Miller versus the New York Knicks or whatever, and not just his trash talk, but he was just good, man. I mean, he made a lot of key shots to win games, and like I said, and yeah, mainly the trash talk is the reason I'm a fan of Reggie Miller. But so that's my number 2.
You probably should have put him at number 3, as many 3-pointers as he used to hit.
Exactly.
He was the 3-point king of his era, man.
Luke?
Number 2, VFL Tobias Harris.
VFL Tobias Harris, and I'm going with number 2, Hakeem Olajuwon. I am a Rockets fan, so there's a little bit of bias there, but the Dream Shake, the dude was an absolute monster. He could not be beat inside during his time. I mean, inside the paint, he was an absolute god. Hakeem Olajuwon, number 2.
Well, number 1, I guess, Josh, we might as well just do this together. We can say it all at the same time. Number 1, 3,
1,
2,
1.
3. Michael Jordan.
Yep.
The greatest of all time.
The
That's
GOAT.
all I got to say.
The GOAT. And for those of you who are going to whine about why we don't have LeBron on our list, sorry, LeBron. Maybe when your career's over and we look at some numbers and stuff, maybe you make your way into the top 5.
He does have some really amazing TikToks, though.
Does he? Maybe we'll pull some up for TikTok Tuesday next week.
It's Taco Tuesday.
All right. And Luke, you're number 1?
The best, I've heard countless stories about him. The best player to ever wear the orange and white, Bernard King.
There you go.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
NBA Hall of Famer, college basketball Hall of Famer. Makes sense.
All right. Moving right along to the whack-ass tradition. Who do we got today, Carter?
Oh, man. We got the Stanford Tree mascot and the Stanford band.
Yeah, what is going on with that band over there, man?
They're a joke. Or their attire is a joke.
Yeah.
They look like they work at that. What's that restaurant in that movie? Is it Flaherty's or whatever? They got all the flair, and stuff. I don't remember.
Shenanigans? Is it Shenanigans?
Shenanigans, yes.
That's in Office Space.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me jump in real quick. I'm going to defend Stanford. I think it's important. I think it's a cool tradition with the tree. It might not be the most, interesting of mascots. It might not be the newest of mascots, but it's historical and it's traditional, and I can respect that, even though it's may look a little disturbing and weird at times.
I was going to say, disturbing is a good way to put it. Take a look at that tree.
Oh my God.
It's absolutely
it looks like
horrendous.
Green toilet paper hanging down, everywhere.
NASCAR says, I like the tree. The band is silly, though. # tree.
I agree with him.
Oh, Mrs. Griffin has popped into the Facebook feed.
Nice.
Hello, sweetheart. How are you today? Hope you're having a great day at work. Everybody on your best behavior. The wife is in the house. All right. Anything else to say about Stanford?
No, I think I'm good.
Silly band, ugliest mascot in college football, hands down. That tree is horrendous.
It wouldn't look as bad if they didn't have the face on it. I'll say that. Because the face kind of makes it look disturbing. But, if it was just a tree, then I could respect if it was just a tree.
Crunkman, supposedly the story with the tree is it's just the unofficial mascot of the university. I think it has something to do with the logo. They made the tree into, and it's just called the Stanford tree. It has no name. We did some research on it and tried to find anything that we could on it. It's basically just a student-driven thing, and it's just the Stanford tree.
They're the Stanford Cardinal, but their mascot's a tree. If that makes sense.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Whack-ass tradition. All right. Ready to move into General Neyland's 7 memes?
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, Greenville Sucks says, is she hot, Josh?
Is my wife hot?
I'm guessing so.
Of course. She's the most beautiful woman to ever walk the earth.
Oh.
You can see her over on my Facebook if you really want to go gawk at my wife. Go take a look. She's my baby.
I wonder who Greenville Sucks is, Carter.
It looks like it's somebody obviously from BVD's side of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Webster says Miller, Iverson, Carter. Who else aside from MJ? That was a staggeringly bad list. Shocking. Well, that's your opinion, sir.
Haters hate. Fans are welcome.
So let's do it like the dude. Well, that's just like your opinion, man. Hey, Carter's list is Carter's list. That's his generational, favorite players of all time.
Hey, Carter. NASCAR Vol has made an accusation in the chat if you want to address that.
Greenville Sucks is Carter.
No, I can confirm that Greenville Sucks is not me, but
I know who it is, and it's not Carter. I'll say that.
Exactly.
There we go. Jeff Webster says Jordan, Jabbar, Bird are absolutely top 3. I mean, I challenge anybody to mess with my list. I've got Johnson, Bird, Jabbar, Olajuwon, and Jordan. So if you can come up with a better top 5, throw them up there, man.
And by the way, this top 5 list is our personal favorites. By the way, it wasn't.
Yeah.
We were trying to argue who's the greatest of all time.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Luke.
I was under the impression that it was favorites. I mean, my list was literally all Tennessee players. One, because I don't watch the NBA, and I probably could not name 5 NBA players if I tried, other than Tennessee players. And B, because I thought it was most favorite, and obviously Tennessee players would be my favorite. But if it was greatest, then obviously that list would change for I think all of us.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Duke over on Facebook says, I met Mrs. Griffin at the tap house. Lovely lady. Great and beautiful family. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I would say Josh, just from what I've seen, Josh is a very lucky man. He's got a beautiful family.
I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
No, that's kind of the question I'm wondering.
Yep. That's my charming personality. All right.
It's the beard.
It's always the beard. That is the only explanation. Although I met my wife, I did not have the beard. I had a goatee. And I grew a beard out one weekend while I was hunting and came home, and she told me if I ever shaved it off, she'd leave me. So there we go. All right, General Neyland's 7 memes. There's the first one. Breaking news, the Miami Hurricanes have been downgraded to a weak tropical storm.
And that's Ron Burgundy.
It is Ron Burgundy.
He likes scotch.
All right. If you talk about college basketball during football season, chances are you're a Kentucky fan. That's accurate.
Very.
The old ball coach, I will ride this paycheck with no titles as long as these morons will let me.
And he did.
Seems like Muschamp's living the same life over there. Going by the same school of thought. All right. Where are we at? Number 4. Then one day, for no particular reason, Alabama forgot how to play football.
Where do I go?
All right. UGA, where ACC quarterbacks go to die. There's a lot of truth to that.
And that's going to happen again this year.
Yep. All right. We don't always beat Vandy at football, but when we do, actually, yes, we do always beat them. The most interesting man in the world. And number 1, you're a Notre Dame football fan. Please inform me of their accomplishments since 1995.
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka. All right. Who's our dumpster fire of the day, Carter?
I really just took a random team today. And so I'm going with the NC State Wolfpack. And it's pretty self-explanatory. They haven't really done anything in the history of ever. But
there we go. NC State. It sucks to suck.
And the last time we played them, we did beat them pretty handedly. And Derek Dooley was our coach.
Yeah, Derek Dooley went in there and embarrassed them in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Me and BVD were there. That was me and BVD's first game ever going to together. So.
And that's sweet.
No, it is.
That was after the child support order was served?
That was.
They figured he better get his money's worth, huh?
Yeah. NASCAR Fall says Josh Griffin, the bearded charmer.
You know it, buddy. You know it. She's over there on Facebook, guys. If you want to go talk to my wife, go talk to her. She'll tell you everything that I probably wouldn't want anybody to know.
Because we need to get her on the show.
Yeah, because as much as I love her, she hates me equally. All right. That is our dumpster fire program of the day. Anything else to say about NC State?
I don't have anything else to say about NC State. They got some nice fans. I mean, they were pretty nice.
Yeah, quality fans. I did hear a lot of people coming back from that Chick-fil-A kickoff game that said NC State folks were nice.
Mm-hmm. They were.
And we were supposed to get stomped by NC State. They were touting that quarterback like he was going to win a Heisman whenever we went into that game, and we just embarrassed the fire out of them.
Yeah, old Cordero Patterson came alive that night.
Yeah, that's when we learned who CP was. Still in the NFL.
Yeah, he made the All-Decade team along with Eric Berry. Who's Eric Berry is supposed to be back in the league playing somewhere this coming up season, I hope. I'd like to see him in Nashville on the two-tone blue. That'd be pretty cool.
No one has anything to say about NC State. All right, let's see. That's pretty much going to tie a bow on it for today. Let's see.
No wheel of misfortune.
I know we didn't get any wheel spins. Last chance, last opportunity. I'm gonna stick it up there. If anybody wants a spin at the wheel, $1.99 Super Chat does it. It's not that hard, guys. You just click Super Chat. And we'll spin the wheel. We'll give you guys a few minutes to make up your minds on that. And if nobody's going to spin it, that's fine. I would prefer not to get egg on my face or drink hot sauce or
a milky shower.
Yeah, the milk shower, truffle shuffle, Facebook profile picture change, sing your fight song. Let's see, what else? What was on there? Oh, do the Thursday show in a dress.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't. We don't.
Next time we'll put
we
on
don't
there
mind
Josh
not.
will teach us how to do it.
We don't mind not doing it. Trust me.
Yeah.
But we do want to be fair to you guys and give you an opportunity. So there it is. If you want to spin the wheel, spin the wheel. As we do our, maybe since you're watching, I apologize for this, but it's how we end the show is our salute to Layla Kiffin. There you go. Layla, thank you for at one time being the first lady of Tennessee football.
Layla.
Oh, NASCAR has a very good point. Kevin Stokes paid for a spin for Carter last show.
Wait, I thought it was for you.
No, it was for you, sir.
I'll have to go back and look at that.
Go back and look at it because if we're going to do it, we need to do it right now. We told him we'd do it next show. I'm 100% sure it was you.
I don't even know where to go look.
It'd be episode 12 in the comments section. Look for the super chats are highlighted, so they're easy to see.
All right, hold on. This is General supposed to be doing this. He's supposed to be checking this kind of stuff.
NASCAR says it was for Carter.
All right, I believe him. I ain't going to look. All right, hold on. Let's spin the wheel, damn it.
Let's see how Carter gets to embarrass himself today.
Sometimes we don't even need a wheel for that to happen. All right, tell me when you're ready, Carter. To learn your fate.
Hold on. God. All right, let's spin it.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is for Kevin Stokes, who I haven't seen in the comment section today, so hopefully he'll go back and watch. Carter, you will be... Ah, man. You already did that. You already sang the Georgia fight song.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take an egg to the face. Is that fair consolation?
That's fair.
Or you could... Well, we can't do that without Kevin Stokes either. Facebook profile picture. Third time's a charm. Spinner's choice.
No.
We needed Kevin Stokes to be in the show today, man.
Why don't we wait till next episode, and we, even if we don't have the spinner, that way when Kevin's in here, we spin it again while he's in there.
That's fair. We'll wait until old Kevin's in here. Hopefully it lands on Spinner's choice, and he makes you do the truffle shuffle.
Yeah, I know that's what he wants.
That man is sitting in his recliner every Tuesday and Thursday with this iPad in his hand, hoping to see you take your shirt off and
rubbing his belly.
And jiggle your belly.
He's rubbing his belly button.
Yeah, that's right. All right, anybody else? Last chance for the wheel.
Looking at you, NASCAR.
Closing it down in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The wheel is closed. There you go. We got out clean today, Carter. I'm kind of happy about that.
Yep. Well, I still owe Kevin one, so we'll have to do it next Tuesday or whenever.
Yep. So
give
now,
a shout out to our boy General.
Now we can officially close the show out here with our salute to Layla. Carter, 1, 2, 3. The salute. Thank you, Layla. Guys, I've been Josh Griffin. That is Alex Carter. Special guest today was Luke Thomas. Luke, thanks for joining us. It was good to have you through the entire show, man. Last time that we had you on, you were just here for your own little segment. It was good having you on through the entire show. We're gonna make a weekly thing of this, guys. I apologize for the dog barking in the background. Hang on just a second.
Give the dog a bone.
There we go. Oh, she's back. Anyway, go to volunteerroadshow.com and check out all the stuff there. We got merchandise. We've got all of Luke's articles are over there for free, and the writing team. You can find all kinds of good stuff over there. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at @JoshGriffin_VRS. Carter, give them your Twitter handle.
I'm at Alex Carter VRS.
And Luke, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Luke A. Thomas VRS.
All right. That's going to do it for us, guys.
VRS stands for Very Raw Sausage.
You're killing me. You guys have a good weekend. It's Thursday. You got one more work day, and then we hit the weekend. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Go Big Orange.